Vatinok. I love this thing. I don't know what it means, but it's this great lower voice, this brilliant performance from her. All right. Hello, my name is Sacha Baron Cohen, and this is Notes on a Scene for Borat Subsequent Moviefilm. Delivery of prodigious bribe to American regime for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan. Can you put message on it, please?
Yes, sir.
The reason we came up with this scene was one of our brilliant writers, Jenna Friedman, who's this fantastic stand-up, said, okay, this is a movie about feminism and we wanted to explore some of the issues in that. She said there are a bunch of places called pregnancy crisis centers, which are essentially, they masquerade as Planned Parenthood places, but in fact, the women will go in there and they will be convinced, or there'll be an attempt to convince them to keep the child. We came up in the room with an idea that Tutar, Borat's daughter, would swallow a tiny little plastic figurine of a baby. That would allow us in the room to have this miscommunication.
Howdy doody.
Hey, how are you?
I would like to purchase a cake, prodigious size, made of chocolate for my glorious lady, please.
So we came up with this reason that the reason he's going into a cake store is to buy a chocolate cake for Premier Nazarbayev, who's the leader of Kazakhstan. What we have done, though, is we have produced this particular cupcake. So there are cupcakes there, but we have put a few on which we have these plastic babies. This is a real cake salesperson.
Can you put message on it, please?
Yes, sir. What would you like on this?
Jews will not replace us.
Borat asked this question, can you just write Jews will not replace us, which obviously, for those of you who know, was one of the things shouted at the white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, which was one of the reasons that I made this movie, that and the Muslim ban. There were a couple of things that I thought, I should probably not just be a bystander. I asked the question, there's always this moment with a bit of satire where you don't know what they're going to say. So you've said, will you write this really racist thing on the cake? And obviously you would hope that the person would go, no, I'm not going to write a racist phrase on the cake. We don't edit that, so you hear that pause.
Jews will not replace us.
This is always the thing with satire. Are they going to agree to it or are they not?
Okay.
Okay, she does it. I'm sure she's a very nice person, but it's about the indifference to racism. I remember shooting the first Borat movie, and after the first scene, it was like this moment of realization where these are real people who are moving the story forward. They don't know they're in a movie. They don't know that the things they say are going to change these fake characters' lives, but they are real people who are changing the story.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
If we could pack that up, please.
Okay, so here we go. What we need now is Maria Bakalova to notice the cupcake. She's never been in this store beforehand. She's got to now find the cupcake that our props person has snuck into this store secretly. Part of the setup for this movie and the reason that I was able to make it was Borat was famous. How could I make another undercover movie? The way to do it was Borat goes in disguise. He has a USA badge. Borat's proving that he is American. It's a jean top and it's got a jean tie here. We had to make those specially. Now, this particular outfit was actually designed by three-time Oscar winner Colleen Atwood. Colleen cut up and created perhaps the first ever jean tie. Thomas Kolarek was in charge of hair and makeup, and we found that after doing a lot of tests, if I was ginger, people were less likely to realize that it was me.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
This is enough. Thank you very much.
You sure?
Yes, that's it.
Okay,
Аз искам също да ям едно кекче.
So she is going to nag him. And we had a lot of debates with Maria, how do you nag Borat? And we rehearsed this a bunch. And this scene just comes after him unconsciously dancing along with his daughter at the state fair. We're telling the audience there at that point, even though Borat doesn't know what's going on, we're telling the audience, oh, this is a movie about these two falling in love with each other. It's about these two. You don't really realize it until that point. One of the movies that actually we looked at for when we were writing this was Brokeback Mountain. And Borat is a kind of latent father. Deep down, he doesn't know it, but he really loves his daughter. And so this is the beginning of their relationship. Does he care about her enough to give her a cupcake? She's speaking Bulgarian here, going, please, 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 please. And I'm speaking in a bit of Hebrew mixed with Bulgarian. I've got some Polish in there. So we would always rehearse in English first, so we really understood what the other person was saying. We would spend the night beforehand just rehearsing the scene, making sure, because we had one take. That's why Maria, above everything, is an incredible actor. I mean, she got all of these things in one take. She got the emotion, the comedy.
Teenagers.
Please give it to me, Daddy. Give it to me. Give it.
Okay, give it to me, give it to me. Now, she is setting up lines here that we are going to use later on in the Pregnancy Crisis Center. Just think about the bravery of her as well. She'd just come out of drama school. She's put in this incredibly difficult acting challenge, being in the real world, often in quite dangerous situations.
Give it to me.
Okay, choose cake. Choose cake.
Here they are. Here are the cupcakes. She's going to look,
I will regret this.
and he will regret it.
I want this one with the baby on it.
Okay.
Okay, now in the editing here, we go to close-up. We have these incredible cameramen and DPs, Luke Geisbuehler, where they get the scene immediately. So they know exactly what shots they need. They've also got one go, and they've got to get it right. So for the audience to understand this joke, they have to see clearly that there are babies on top of cupcakes.
I want this one with the baby on it.
Okay.
Might have a lot of cream. This is our little secret.
I would not want the authorities to see. I do not want the authorities to see. The reason we've written that is so that she can eat and swallow the baby in an alleyway, which obviously you associate with, you know, some casual one-night stand. You know, and she's got nails here, she's had her lips done, and she's wearing makeup, and this is a wig. We're trying to convey is she is destroying herself. She's changing herself completely. And the reason she's doing it is to be given to another man as property. You know, in many parts of the world and throughout much of history, girls and women were their father's property until the day they became their husband's property, and that still exists. What's the benefit of having a writer's room with men and women? Well, I'll tell you what, we never would have had a scene like this, or even the menstruation dance, if we didn't have women coming up with these concepts. Borat, these kind of movies, Bruno, we're dealing with taboos and seeing where we can get comedy from them. A police car pulled in here. They were confused, you know, what are they doing? And again, we're shooting this movie in secret. No one knows we're shooting a movie. The crucial thing was during the kind of year that we shot this, no one could know. So we couldn't get arrested. We couldn't have anyone know that it was Borat and that there was a new Borat movie, or the whole thing would have been ruined. So the police car pulled in here, tried to find out what was going on. As they pulled in, I get in a minivan and I disappear. We wait for the police car to go, come back, do another take. Then the police car came back again. I'm continually leaving. Correct. And here we go. We find a place with a dumpster. That's why we chose this location.
Okay, will you tell me that? Okay, will you tell me that? Will you tell me that?
We need her to swallow this baby. So she needs to, in the performance, get so carried away that this baby gets lodged in her throat. And it has to be so badly stuck that he takes her to a doctor. This particular cupcake has a marzipan, an edible baby on, you know, so that she doesn't actually swallow it. We didn't kill our co-star. I love this thing. Gata bebito. We kept on saying this, me and my co-writer, Anne Hines, after we kept going, Gata bebito. I don't know what it means, but it's this great lower voice, this brilliant performance from her. And again, look at these eyebrows. So the makeup is not great here. It's going to get a lot better towards the end of the movie, but this is her doing her makeup.
Makara? I
actually say makara in Hebrew, which means what happened, but we changed the translation of that.
Doctor.
Okay, here is the beginning of the comic setup. The audience know one thing, the other person in the room does not.
I have a baby inside me, and I want to take it out of me.
Okay, so this is a pastor, and he's slightly masquerading, you see there's an ultrasound. There's the impression here that it's a medical office, where it isn't. And he's kind of pretending to be a doctor, where he's actually a pastor.
Right.
She want it out now, please.
Right.
This is our classic shot for all those budding comedy directors here, which is we either have the 2-shot or the 3-shot, where in our comedy, because it's set in the real world, we want to have as few cuts as possible. We want to play the master shot. It's a kind of the original way that comedy was shot on movies. So this, the classic 2-shot or the 3-shot, and you want to see as many eyes as possible. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, a bit of Borat's second one here, 4, 5, and a tiny bit of his eye there. So that's kind of the perfect 2 or 3 shot where we can really get a sense of what everyone's thinking in one go. And again, the performance here and what's funny about it, and there's nothing less funny than explaining why a joke's funny, is they're so flippant. They're talking about a little part, can we get it out?
And why not?
What you say, take it out.
Yes.
You end that life. That life will die.
Right, it already dead. It's not living.
No, it is living right now. It has
it's this big.
It has a heartbeat right now.
I don't think so.
It is a living, breathing life.
He doesn't know yet that these two are related. So he's just doing the standard thing. We're pretty sure he's going to do this. When we first wrote the screenplay, we wrote a 90-page version of the movie, and we wrote the real people's parts with what we felt they would say. Obviously, in the real world, we don't know what they're going to say.
I don't think he's breathing.
We can show you that it's breathing.
It hurt my stomach, and it will hurt my asshole.
This was something that Jenna Friedman felt was really important to say. It's painful, right? I want it out. It's this big, right? So it's clear that it's within the amount of weeks where most societies would see it's reasonable to take it out, and it's hurting her. She's in pain. Why on earth can't she have it out? She's chosen to have an abortion.
And it will hurt my asshole.
So when it comes out, it will hurt my arsehole. When you're saying a line like that, arsehole, there's a fear that the person will walk out the room. I had never explained my process to anyone. In fact, it's slightly embarrassing even talking about it now. But Maria had to know how to do these things. And so for the first time ever, I was verbalizing these techniques that I'd been using. I hadn't even realized that they were techniques, but I'd go, oh yeah, what you need to do when they're suspicious is really look into their eyes deeper and also just go deeper into their character. And that's a kind of weird thing to explain, but you feel it physically when you go deeper into the character.
It can tear it.
Right.
I feel bad because I was the one who put the baby in her.
You don't need to feel bad.
I was just trying to give my daughter pleasure.
Bingo. Daughter, here is the bombshell. How long is it going to take him to react?
Next thing I know, there's a baby.
For the satire to work, we need to posit the question, how extreme are these clinics? Would they still pressure a young 15-year-old girl to have a baby, even if it was incest?
Next thing I know, there's a baby inside her.
You keep calling her your daughter.
Yes.
Okay. Is he your father?
Yes.
Okay, great performance. Like, yes, what's the big deal? And it's this kind of casual nature of, it's incestuous. In his mind, he believes that this is a couple. That, I have sex with my father. What's the big deal?
This is your daughter.
Yes.
Again, he's asked it 3 times now. You keep mentioning your daughter. There's like 3 mentions. He doesn't want to psychologically deal with this question. What's he going to do?
I wanted to give my daughter a treat.
And we're trying to keep as much of the reality of it as possible. So the real, we're imagining what they're thinking.
A treat.
I understand. I don't need to hear I don't need to hear any more of that. I understand.
She just had
that.
I want to get this line out. I'm going to get this line out. I know I've got a good gag here.
Would you have not given it to her?
I understand. Listen, that is not important right now.
That's not important right now. Why is it not important right now? The fact that it's incest and she's 15 years old. How can that not be important right now? And so this is quite a shocking thing to say.
When he treated me, he said this will be our little secret.
This will be our little secret. So we know, remember beforehand, we've set up this joke.
Yes, this is why I do it behind the dumpster, so no one can see. Now that you know that I am her father, can we take it out now, please?
God is the one who creates life, and God doesn't make accidents.
The difference between Borat and a normal comedy is normally in a normal comedy you end on what we call the blow, which is the biggest gag. Here we're ending on something that's complete satire. So we end with that bit of satire. That's the kind of unusual thing of the way this movie is cut as opposed to a normal comedy movie. We finished filming pretty close to the release of the movie. We finished filming, then 3 weeks later we delivered the movie. Probably one of the fastest post-productions in cinematic history. Well, I don't know if that's true, but I may as well claim that. Why not? I know that we are officially the longest title ever nominated for an Oscar. After this movie, yeah, I don't know if I'm traumatized, but I definitely don't want to go out and shoot another one of these movies ever again. They're too hard, as you can see.